Hello and welcome back, beautiful soul. Today's episode is going to be about how I started connecting with my spirit guides. And how I started is a long way from where I am today, so I'm excited to begin to talk about this with you. So if you are new to the channel, I am Jamie Ehrenberg with Wild Retreats, and this is my journey of following my intuition and becoming my truest self. First thing that's probably worth having a conversation is what is a spirit guide? So I believe that our spirit guides or our spirit team is a collection of non-seen entities that are supporting us in our highest good on our soul's path. And they are constantly trying to communicate with us in different ways, in whatever way we'll hear them, so that we are able to more easily move along our soul's path and move through life and have a beautiful, joyful human experience that we're not fighting against so much. And this can be ancestors, this can be the divine, this could be your higher self, this could be specific archetypes. It could be Father Sky, it could be your intuition, and those that I just named are actually all part of who I call in now on a daily basis when I'm doing my prayers, when I'm doing videos like this, when I'm in devotion or service. That's the team that I call in. And we'll talk a little bit more about how you can know who's on your team as well, although that too is quite a layered journey. The first time that I connected with anybody that was on my spirit team, I was actually in a conversation that was mostly unrelated. That the woman that I was working with, Monique Meadows, who's a medium, and she works with the unseen, both spirits and past loved ones, as well as any energies or beings that were on a land or in a place. I was working with her and she was like, I have to tell you, your ancestors are surrounding you right now and they have messages for you. Are you open to hearing that? And I've since done specific readings with her, and she even helped me learn how to connect with my ancestors better. And this is part of what I'm hoping will come through in this video, is helping you connect with whatever is the right member of your spirit team to start connecting with if you're not already doing. So I was having that conversation with her and I said, yes, I'm open to this. And she was like, Jamie, your ancestors are telling me to tell you that you can hear them. They know you can hear them. And you allow their information to come in sometimes, but you don't really know it's them. You're mostly blocking it out, and you're actually causing a lot of energy leaks and brain fog and all these other things for yourself because you are so psychically connected and very connected to your ancestors, but you're not listening to them, so you're spending all this energy blocking it out and just moving through the world like that's not a part of you, and it's part of you, and they want to talk to you. They want to have a relationship with you, and it's going to be so much easier if you just do that. And they were like, they're so grateful for all the spiritual work that you've been doing to this point, and they're ready to have a real connection with you. So that was the beginning of that journey for me. And so it started consciously with ancestors. And what I ended up doing was quite literally, after I got off that call, was just say hi. And I got a hi back. Honestly, it was like, I don't know what to do, but I'm going to trust my intuition that I can do this. And I'm going to figure it out as I go along. It doesn't have to be that I'm opening up the fire hose all at once. I can just say hi and see what comes back. And I've shared in other episodes, if you haven't seen them already, about different intuition styles, different intuitive styles, what has worked for me. And this is definitely something that has been, that's that trusting of my own intuition, but that knowing, that hearing, that feeling, and just having comfort that I'm going to be able to figure out my way. And so the next morning, it was a little bit of more of an expanded conversation. And I have also explained that I do hear, and I hear quite in complete sentences. And so once I started opening up that channel, indeed, the conversation started flowing. And I started out super basically, where I was trying to develop a relationship with my ancestors the way I would anybody. You know, it's not jumping into what am I here for, or what's the most important thing you want to tell me today. Although I do, and I have connected with them as I built that muscle and developed that practice of connecting with them on a daily basis, I can get very easily to that place of, what would you like to tell me today? But because I have a relationship with them. So think about your spirit team truly as anybody else or any member of your spirit team, because I feel like they work together, but they're also separate beings that wants to connect with you. They need to have this dialogue with you, you know? And so I started having daily conversations with them, and it was clunky at first, like anybody else that I might be developing a relationship with, and then it got much more easeful. And now they are a member of my team, and I know every day who has the message that they want to give to me. And I truly, this is a whole nother video of how do I know who's communicating what to me. But the most basic thing that I do want to say is it kind of does go all back to, we are all one, we are all part of the divine. So even though I might get messages from specific parts of my spirit team, which includes God or source or the universe, it is this, ultimately it doesn't matter, because they're all on the same page. They're all one in the same, I am part of that as well. And those messages are coming, they're delivering messages in different ways based on who they are and who they've been and what their relationship has been to me. So yeah, ancestors were who I initially started connecting with, and I did do a training that ended up leading into a whole nother mediumship session with Monique Meadows, who really helped me to walk through how to connect with other people's ancestors as well. That is something that was starting to happen as I developed my line and strengthened that line. I would literally be having conversations with other people, with friends, and specifically friends that I know very well, and I've known their parents or have heard a lot about their parents. Their parents, their deceased, no longer in this world parents, started coming to me while I was talking to their children and asking me to give their children messages. In both cases, they were really good girlfriends who mothers were trying to communicate with them and just give them thanks and gratitude for all the things that they've done, and how they helped them in their passing and their transition. So that was a new thing that started coming online after that. I don't want to scare anyone by saying that that's absolutely going to happen to you. It might happen. It just depends on how much you're trusting in your intuition, your intuitive gifts, your psychic gifts. But as you develop things, or as you develop any of this in your own self, if that's part of how you're meant to serve, you'll end up finding out, and your spirit team might be a help. I know that I've had conversations with many people that have been in my circles or on my retreats already, or in my programs, that they have shared that ancestors don't resonate with them. There's not a pull for them. And there are other, so they just struggle. And so I want to give a different example of what another member of my spirit team or other members of the spirit team and how they came to me. And actually these came first, but I did not understand that they were part of my team or who I would call in until a lot later. And that's because the way I started meeting them was through journeys, through guided journeys, specifically from Sabrina Lynn with Rewilding for Women. And she is so good at connecting you with the energy of specific archetypes. And with that, it's opened up pieces of me, and using my intuition in addition to that, I can find out, I've been able to determine who is on my team or who I want to call in. Let me explain that a little bit better. So during these journeys, they're altered states of consciousness done through facilitation. I do them as well with the groups that I work with. They're ways to access information that our conscious mind doesn't necessarily have access to. They're shamanic type journeys, they're meditative journeys, they can be a lot of different things where you are using parts of your subconscious mind to connect to information that's already in you or available to you. And then you're getting information and messages and visualizations, and this is again where your type of intuition is probably going to show up. If you're not a feeler, you're probably not going to feel things during those journeys. If you're not visual, you're probably not going to see things. And so knowing what your intuition type is really going to be helpful for finding ease in getting the most information out of these journeys or these guided meditations. So that said, I would have different, I'm going to call them entities, that would show up and really be able to deliver information to me. First thing that was the most resonant was the dragon. And there's a lot of different dragons that I've worked with now that represent different things that have different colors to them. But the dragon has been one of my guides. And I now call in the dragon specifically for divine union work, creation energy work, connecting Father Sky and Mother Earth together in those polarities. The dragon is a guide for me that's really helpful for connecting. I also have more traditional archetypes that have helped me out as well, Hygeia being one of them. I do a lot of healing, energy flows through my hands. She's someone that I resonated with while I was working with Sabrina. But also I have another priestess sister who was like, during one of our trainings and retreats, was like, have you really felt into Hygeia? Because she's screaming your name. So this is my friend Amalia with Anima Energy, and she does a lot of work to support others as well. And she was just like, your hands. There's so much to Hygeia that I feel like is this high level healer that's part of you. And so she was just able to see that in me and basically gifted me a guide that I was already finding resonance with, but I didn't realize was that for me. And so I spent more time studying her, working with her, and I really can easily call her into my work as well now, especially during Reiki work or other healing work that I might be doing, and that I really want high level, high voltage support in doing that. So that's a different example, or those are different examples of both types of guides, but how I was connected with them initially. And as I said earlier, I have a lot of different ways or a lot of different members of my spirit team that I connect with now. And my higher self has really been showing up a lot lately too. And I will promise, do another video on discernment and how I tell the difference of who I'm working with once I get farther along. Just like we talked about with intuition, there are other ways that those guides can come up. I mentioned that I will see hawks or hummingbirds or dragonflies at certain times that are trying to give me information. I don't know who's sending those, I have to be honest, but somebody on my spirit team is sending me that to say like, hey, check this out. And so like, again, developing that dictionary that we talked about, I think in episode 2 or episode 3 of the intuition series, that is a way to find out, you know, what these messages are. In dreams are always going to be a way that you're being connected with in a way that is easier for you to take in. So one of the things, I've mentioned this, that I've been getting in deep communication and meditation with Source as well as other parts of my spirit team. I've gotten the really clear message that I am here to support with others, helping to change the vibration of the planet. And one of the things that keeps coming in, and I just had one of these dreams again the other day, are these visions of the alternative. If we don't consciously choose to raise our vibration, and as a collective, because one or two people doing it's not going to be enough, but if we don't consciously do that and become what it's possible to become, the way the world could be otherwise is not a place that most of us want to live in. And I would argue that there's a lot of things that are happening, like at this moment, my husband is kind of feeling a lot of, and I know a lot of us are, about just almost feeling sick about the way that people are moving through the world or what's happening through the world. That's these videos, the work I do, the readings and one-on-one support I do, is all to help, you know, people move to a higher vibration. Truly, it always has been that, by being in my vibration. You're literally getting that through this screen right now. My dreams are really, I almost feel like they're premonitions. I don't want to say I almost feel, I believe that they're premonitions to give me visuals of what it could be like if this doesn't happen consciously. And so in my dreams, I'm getting these, yes, really descriptive pictures of what's going to need to happen or what will happen if it doesn't happen consciously. It's not that the vibration doesn't change, because it does, it just does, it happens in a really different way, in a way that we don't want it to happen. And let me know if you want to hear more about that in a future episode, but I really don't want to paint those pictures because it's not where I want to focus my energy. It's not, the darkness is not where I want to focus my energy. It is in the light, and it is through this raising of the vibration that I think that we're going to see the change. It's that explanation of how dreams are really speaking to us as well. That is, I believe that those dreams are a source or my higher self trying to show me the alternative, so that I keep on the path that I'm on right now. The other thing that you can always do is ask. You can set intentions and ask. So when you're starting to have relationships with any member of your spirit team, you can ask them to come to you in a dream if you're a visual person, if you are, or send you a sign. And even if you're not a visual person, obviously we can all, or almost all of us can see. And it could be like, send me a sign if, you know, or let me know you're talking to me, let me see this, and just invite in that being open and inviting in with curiosity information from members of your spirit team. You might still not know who you're connecting with, and you want to know, and I would say, if it's not really clear to you already that it's this particular archetype or this particular animal, you know, because sometimes I was mentioning one of my friends, family members, retreat, workshop participants, that she's like, ancestors aren't a thing for me, but in a dream, she received a dog, a white dog. And so that is one of the members of her spirit team that shows up in these journeys now, even when she's not intentionally working with it. So for her, it could be that she just says, all right, let me see that type of dog if this message is supposed to be coming through, or how do I connect with that dog more intentionally? This majestic, beautiful, large white dog, how do I connect with it so that I am getting those messages that are wanting to come through? You all have guides, for sure. And it looks different for all of us. I was really surprised, and I'm going to say this specifically because he came through yesterday. I was trying to sit in circle with my spirit team in a meditation yesterday, and I looked to my left and I was like, wow. And he looked back at me and he's like, you didn't expect me here, did you? And I was like, no, I did not. It was Jesus. I'm like, this is fascinating. And that's another story for another day too. But I've had definitely an evolving relationship with Christianity, not that Jesus is just Christianity, throughout my life. And it was both beautiful and shocking to see Jesus sitting there as a member of my spirit team yesterday. And so that's a whole other member that I'm going to connect with now. And that's just beginning. Like literally yesterday was the first time that I saw that was somebody who was sitting in a circle with me and as part of my support. So we all have them, and they can show up in really different ways. They can be animals, they can be signs, symbols, it could be ancestors, it could be Jesus, it could be God. We all have our guides, and likely we have a mix of all of these, and it's just who we're more easily able to tap into is where we can start in having these conversations. I would love to know from you if you have a guide, if you have a guide that you connect with regularly, or if you just know you have a guide but you're developing your relationship, if you're willing to share who that is. I feel like it's really helpful for others to hear beyond me what that looks like for them, because it might bring up some resonance or bring something up or into their awareness that they didn't even know was there. So I would love for you to share that. And again, as always, please like and subscribe and share this with anyone you think that would benefit from this conversation, or that you think that there's some curiosity around this for them that might help them deepen their trust, their faith, raise their vibration too. The subscribing not only helps me, but it also will make sure that you don't miss any future episodes where I start getting into more of, okay, Jesus is at the table. How am I interacting with Jesus? I don't know yet, but another future episode will definitely be on that, and then how I discern the difference between who I'm connecting with and why I do that. All right, I'm sending you so much love, and I have such gratitude for each one of you that is watching, that is adding comments, that is helping me develop all of these messages and these videos and know resonates the most. Thank you so much. I'm sending you lots and lots of love, and I can't wait to hear about your journey and connecting with your guides and deepening your intuition in that way.